Hello, I am Dr. Brenda J. Allen, also known as Queen Bee. In this video, I will share a segment from a series on Exploring Race Matters 2020 that I presented for the Boulder Book Store. Recordings of the 3 sessions are available on my YouTube channel and on the bookstore's website. In this video, I share ideas for developing a personal action plan. As Angela Davis asserts, in a racist society, it is not enough to be non-racist. We must be anti-racist. To be anti-racist requires a deep commitment and a willingness to work hard. To do anti-racism work includes identifying and challenging racism by changing systems, organizational structures, policies and practices, and attitudes to redistribute power in an equitable manner. Because racism is systemic, we will not achieve racial equity without active work in institutions and organizations. Here's a list of relevant practices. In a separate video, I elaborate on these recommendations. As this overview implies, striving for racial equity at the organizational or institutional level, as I've said before, requires a lot of time and effort. It won't be done easily or quickly. Efforts need to be systemic, strategic, and sustainable. One and done trainings or webinars on topics like anti-racism or implicit bias will not be effective in the long term. In fact, they may do more harm than good. Although institutional and organizational level work is essential, you can do your part as an individual. Dr. Ibram X. Kendi, author of How to Be an Anti-Racist, cautions us that being an anti-racist requires persistent self-awareness, constant self-criticism, and regular self-examination. As I share these recommendations, please think about what you can and will do. Number 1, treat anti-racism as a high personal priority. Deepen your commitment. 2, become more mindful. Be aware of your behaviors and attitudes. Monitor your emotions. Try to catch yourself TUI, or thinking under the influence of white supremacy and other dominant belief systems such as patriarchy or heteronormativity. Look for evidence to confirm that racism exists and for ways that you are helping or have helped to perpetuate it. Be curious rather than defensive. If you learn about something that you didn't know but now believe that evokes emotions such as frustration, guilt, shame, anger, or sadness, be grateful that you care enough to be emotional. Some people could not care less. Let your emotions prompt you to be more committed, resolved to apply and share what you learn. Number 3, educate yourself. A wealth of related resources existed before now, and many more have been generated recently. Do not ask Black, Indigenous, and people of color or BIPOC to educate you unless they have offered to do so. As you educate yourself, formally and informally, seek information and insights about positive aspects of BIPOC history and current experiences, in addition to learning about racism. Also seek examples of cross-racial alliances across history and currently. All of this might further motivate and inspire you. 4, work within your spheres of influence. For example, with your family, friends, and other social networks. Also, lead initiatives and advocate for institutional or organizational change. Finally, cultivate your cultural humility. Resources exist online for developing and implementing personal action plans, including several 21-day challenges. I encourage you to check them out if you haven't. To start planning right away, consider these questions. First, how will you be? What personal attributes or characteristics will you develop or refine to help you stay the course? Here's a list of some to consider. Second, what will you learn or relearn? Choose from the wide variety of topics that we covered or from others that might interest you. Third, what will you do at the personal and professional levels? I've begun to fill out my plan. I am going to be more fearless and empathetic. I'm also going to be more honest with myself, especially regarding internalized anti-Black racism. I'm going to try to catch myself thinking under the influence of white supremacy about myself and other Black people. What am I going to learn? I'm going to learn more about the history of racism in higher education. After a recent training, when I described some of that history, participants asked for more. So I'm going to do some research and write about that. I've also been learning about Native Americans, historically and currently. I recently became a member of Indian Country Today, a daily digital news platform that covers the indigenous world, including American Indians and Alaska Natives. What am I going to do? I'm going to follow up on an idea that I proposed earlier this year to work with others to strengthen relationships between African Americans and Africans in my community. I'm also going to deepen my commitment to educate, encourage, and empower others about race matters, and I'm going to make materials widely available. Specifically, I'm going to develop my YouTube channel and my Difference Matters website. They're already available, but I will complete an update by October 1st, 2020. Please reach out to me if you have questions or if you want to share your progress with me. Best wishes to you as you create and implement your personal action plan. I leave you with the words of Representative John Robert Lewis.